The brain's worst enemy, 7 foods that harm your brain. The brain is the most vital organ in the human body. It controls everything from heartbeat to breathing, so keeping the brain in optimal condition is essential. Unfortunately, some common foods can actually have negative effects on the brain, impacting memory, mood, and even increasing the risk of dementia. By limiting intake of these brain-harming foods and emphasizing a diet rich in fresh, whole foods, you can help support lifelong brain health. Sugary drinks assault the brain. Beverages like soda, sports drinks, and fruit juice seem harmless enough. But a high intake of these sugary drinks expands the waistline and also has a deleterious effect on the brain. The excess sugar impacts insulin resistance, inflammation, and neuronal signaling in the brain. Additionally, the high fructose corn syrup found in many sugary drinks may be uniquely damaging to memory and learning ability compared to regular sugar. By increasing dementia risk and impairing cognition, sugary drinks are best limited in a brain-healthy diet. Refined carbs addle the brain. Refined grains like white flour are digested quickly, spiking blood sugar and insulin. This can cause inflammation in the hippocampus region of the brain, which is integral for memory. Studies show that elderly people who eat many refined carbs have double the risk of dementia. Refined carbs also lower scores on intelligence tests in children. Picking whole grain options like whole wheat pasta and sprouted bread can avoid refined carbs' brain-damaging effects. Trans fats fry the brain. Artificially produced trans fats are added to many processed foods to extend shelf life. However, studies link higher trans fat intake with poorer memory, lower brain volume, and increased Alzheimer's disease risk. While small amounts of naturally occurring trans fats in meat and dairy are not a major concern, processed snack foods and baked goods with hydrogenated oils should be limited to avoid trans fats' brain-harming effects. Highly processed foods shrink the brain. Ready-made meals, instant noodles, frozen pizzas, and other highly processed foods are convenient, but often loaded with sugar, unhealthy fats, and chemicals. Studies connect a diet high in processed foods with actual shrinkage of brain tissue and lower brain metabolism. Processed foods also reduce levels of BDNF, a growth factor for neurons, and disrupt the blood-brain barrier. Emphasizing fresh, whole food choices like fruits, veggies, and lean proteins can avoid processed foods' brain damage. Aspartame, a brain-addling sweetener. The artificial sweetener aspartame is added to many diet foods and drinks. However, aspartame is controversially linked to behavioral and cognitive issues. The components of aspartame can disrupt neurotransmitters and increase oxidative stress in the brain. While considered safe in moderate doses, choosing naturally sweetened beverages and avoiding added sweeteners provides benefits for the brain. Booze batters the brain. Moderate alcohol intake may have some health benefits for the heart and blood sugar control. However, heavy drinking batters the brain, literally shrinking brain volume and damaging neurotransmitters. Excessive alcohol also leads to memory loss, vision disturbances, and severe deficiency in vitamin B1. Binge drinking is especially harmful to the still developing adolescent brain. For lifelong brain health, it's best to avoid excessive intake and limit alcohol consumption. Mercury in fish contaminates the brain. Seafood is tasty and nutritious. However, long-living predatory fish like shark and swordfish accumulate high mercury levels that are neurotoxic. Mercury exposure from contaminated fish leads to damage of neurons and disruption of neurotransmitters, especially harming the developing brain. While most fish are low risk, limiting intake of high mercury fish and following local consumption advisories for sensitive groups like pregnant women protects the brain from mercury's toxic effects. The brain is too precious to allow dietary choices to cause damage. By limiting sugary drinks, refined carbs, trans fats, processed foods, aspartame, alcohol, and mercury-laden fish, while emphasizing whole, fresh foods, you can keep your brain sharp and healthy for life.